So, hello, you can ask, why did Scooby-Doo fail? No, wait, why did Scooby-Doo fail? For 55 years, projects about this character have followed the same formula. A huge number of full-length films, TV series, games, and comics have been released, albeit of different quality. It sounds both good and bad. Quantity equals quality. But in major media franchise, the former often trumps the latter. And I think today's patient has just such a diagnosis. Don't think badly of me. Scooby-Doo and Mystery Inc. are some of my favorite characters, and I prepared very meticulously for this video. But analyzing each product about these characters we may linger. Therefore, in this video I will talk about various periods in the life of young people and talk a dog in general terms. I will draw conclusions and pay attention to special projects. Trust? Trust. Let's start. If suddenly you still don't know, get acquainted. Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Wilma Dinkley, Norville Shaggy Rogers, and Great Dane named Scooby. The original animated series was created by two writers, Joe Ruby and Ken Spears, and artist Iwao Takamoto. In the story, this gang was engaged in solving mysteries and searching for supernatural creatures. Often the monsters turned out to be the people in masks, which was an oily metaphor. The most terrible creature on the planet is human. The story of this team began in the Hanna-Barbera studio. Then it moved to Turner, then to Warner Bros. Then instead of Hanna-Barbera, they created Cartoon Network, Fun Corporate Activity. The series was included in the Guinness Book of Records for the largest number of episodes. But what is the secret to Scooby-Doo's longevity? To start, it's a simple concept.
What? What are you talking about?
You have one recognizable task: to solve mysteries. And everything that happens around this can be changed as you like. You have 5 charismatic characters with recognizable voices, unique qualities, and objects around their necks. All you need to do is come up with an interesting story and an eye-catching setting. And you might think that writing scripts about the Mystery Inc. is the best job I ever had. But then how can you explain such a large number of projects with low rating? Let's try to figure it out. You know, human feelings are the most paradoxical thing on the planet. We simultaneously love the familiar characters, but hate the familiar plot elements. For example, Shrek. In the first film, he accepted himself. In the second, he was worried about society's acceptance. In the third, he accepted responsibility. And in the fourth, he faced a midlife crisis. But imagine the visual style improves with each films. New scenery, familiar characters. However, Shrek tries to accept himself in all stories. Bad idea? Very. And in this example, I'm talking about character development. When was the last time you noticed character from the Scooby-Doo universe develop? I remember the series Mystery Inc. It was very good and played carefully with the viewer's expectations. Almost the entire first season, the monsters turned out to be people in masks. And after, I won't say spoilers in case someone didn't watch it, the mysticism and universal evil appear. It was cool. Raising the stakes of a story is always impressive. From many people I heard the following phrase: "The series is like the second Gravity Falls but only for adults." And this assessment has the right to exist. The concept is really very similar. But Gravity Falls was a quality original project from the beginning. And for Scooby-Doo, this was a big step forward. There were a lot of cool projects, but their authors always tried to adhere to the rules of the first series. Except, it's time to talk about my favorites. I call it an unofficial trilogy because of the similar visual style. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo and the Bewitched Ghost, and Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. The first thing I loved about these films is natural paints. I have never seen such a pleasant and atmospheric color palette anywhere. In every film, color sets the tone of the story, shows the location, and signifies the weather. Green and blue, water adventure and jungle. Orange and brown, witchcraft theme, peasants. Autumn, country life. Yellow and gray, caves, sand, a place outside of ordinary life. But the main distinguishing feature of these films is the double layer of destruction of the formula. Don't believe me? Listen. The first is that there is mysticism in the riddle. Even the slogan, "This time the monsters are real," speaks about this. Second, the riddle has no answer. Really? We are not given an answer as to why witches, zombies, aliens exist here, and how it works. This is great. But the scripts don't just break the formula, they treat it with respect. As a result, the main villains in the film still remained people. And basically one human quality is greed. And it's not for nothing that I'm talking about visual style again. I think the unspoken rule in Hanna-Barbera has always been to create atmospheric backgrounds. Look, these are paintings that can be hung on the wall. And look at the different projects about Scooby-Doo. One can come to the conclusion that all creators respect this rule and try to create a unique style, or parasitize on the original trying to repeat even the color palette. But it's okay. But for the last 10 years, Mystery Inc. has mainly lived on DVD and streaming services. Even a high-budget feature film failed to reach cinema screen en masse. And to be honest, with each full-length films I, as viewer, become more and more bored. It's as if the authors have a mission, a riddle, and a solution. And I don't really want to do with the rest. The animation is good, the designs are familiar, but there is no sense of soul or creativity. Of course, great respect for creative crossovers. Heroes and villains from the DC universe. Freaking Courage Cowardly Dog. But crossovers are not creativity. Yes, it might turn out to be a gem, like Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But here there is a feeling that the creators do not underestimate the potential of this gang, as if they themselves can no longer surprise. I know someone else like that. They seem to live in the same company. Even a movie for cinemas. God, it looks great. I didn't think that these characters could look so great with 3D graphics. But the writers forgot that these guys love solving mysteries. Why is the Blue Falcon's son here? Did they watch to catch the Marvel hype train? I don't know, guys. There were some good jokes, and they tried to write story arcs for the characters. But such a high quality and such a mediocre scripts don't go together.
Are you challenging me?
So, am I trying to say that the secret of Scooby-Doo's longevity as media franchise is the reason for its creative downfall? Wait, diagnosis against domination? Not really. Scooby-Doo has a lot of room for creativity. And here it is important to create the framework yourself. And I think the best thing that can be done now is to create a really good detective story with these characters. The audience had the demand for this. Have you seen the fan pilot for the Mystery Inc. series? Here's the proof. But I would not praise this work as a project. Here Shaggy was made a drug dealer. And I heard that William Hanna didn't like this association of the characters with teams of various substances and hippies. He and Joe Barbara were involved in the creation of this gang anywhere. Therefore, we must respect their wishes. And the dog must talk. No, I'm kidding. It was a good for fan work. Just let's keep my opinion neutral here. So what was I talking about? Since all these films for physical media and streaming continue to be released, it means Scooby-Doo and the gang have a loyal audience. And yes, I am among them. And this audience deserves a gift. Do you agree? Let the new Scooby movie open with Scooby and Shaggy walking into an apartment as Vincent and Jules or something like that. A good riddle is the best seller for any project. Remember the same Twin Peaks. You already have some great characters. The main thing is to give them a good job in the story. And you know, guys, the creators at Warner Bros. Animation hear you. The All Might Shaggy meme is a good example for this. And maybe one day they will hear me too. Best wishes, Paul. So, here's a new video. Sorry for the sound. I was left without a microphone. I have nothing at all. So I decided to imitate my favorite VHS format here. I hope you weren't scared by the mess on my channel. I am now in a difficult life situation and try to somehow remain active on the channel. Like or dislike, write a comment, maybe you disagree with something, I will answer. And of course, subscribe to the channel. See ya!